Hello Feast people, welcome to another week. Last week I started to talk about methyl bromide and its use with strawberries. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more about that chemical. Australia was one of many Western countries that signed onto the what was called the Montreal Protocol, which basically meant that that particular chemical was to be phased out by 2005. The latest figures I saw were around about 2004, and we still use something like 700 tonnes of this gas in Australia. The main reason that the world has taken to task on this particular chemical is because it's actually the most serious ozone depleting chemical used by man. As I also mentioned last week, it was actually developed as a nerve gas in World War II and commissioned for use in agriculture in 1945. So it's not a particularly nice chemical. It's also used post-harvest with grains, so for things like rice, any other cereal crops, basically as a fumigant to kill and destroy, kill rats, but also weevil eggs in particular. And of course, organically, we don't want methyl bromide used on our products, so they're not treated to kill weevil eggs. This time of year, things like your oats and your rice can come to life. It's just the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. There are a couple of things you can do to help prevent it. Number one, you can store this in the freezer for a week. That will actually kill the eggs. Number two, you can store it in the fridge. That'll prevent them from hatching. You can use bay leaves. That will also, once they do hatch, deter them from staying. They'll move on. I haven't got one to show you here right now, but we have natural pantry moths. So if they do come to life and they hatch and they're flying around your kitchen, they're basically a sticky pad. The moths are attracted to it. It's absolutely safe, non-toxic, and look, we've got them at home. They'll be standing room only in a matter of minutes, well, days. I love it. Yeah, so unfortunately it's just one of those things that it's really only one surefire way. It's either freeze or go toxic, and really there's no choice. Howdy guys, that's my little rant over for the week. Sorry about that. To the produce, lots of wonderful things again. A little seasonal treat, the fresh figs. Look, it's a brief little moment in time when they're available. They'll probably be on for a couple of weeks, and then they'll be off for a few weeks, and then we might see them appear again before they disappear till next year. Now Jean, at the risk of being accused of always eating, there you go, have a look at that. They're pretty sweet. They're mostly very juicy and tasty. New season apples are really starting to kick along. We've got Red Delicious. Never really been a big Red Delicious fan, but as Red Delicious go, these are pretty good. But truly the galas are the pick of the crunchier style of apples. Really, really sweet and flavoursome. Nice sized pieces for the kiddies' lunch boxes. Now this week, in terms of green apples, we've got the Mutsus again, which is actually a Granny Smith and Golden Delicious cross. So more similar in eating though to the Granny Smith. But we also have the genuine article. Grannies have started. You can see they've got a nice little red blush. Wonderful and crisp. I don't eat Grannies, so I'm not going to buy that one. Tony, our banana supplier, is getting a little bit better at getting the kind of colour we want. You just keep practicing, Tony. These are more on the green side than we've been getting. But look, come Wednesday, perfect eating. Now the new season pears are coming along. We've got the Williams. Now this particular variety, you can see that it's quite green in colour. They will ripen fairly slowly, so you really want to hold back and wait until they're a nice rich yellow, and then they'll be magnificent. Of course, unless that is if you're going to cook them, get into them now. Yep, grapes. Flame seedless are still the pick. Really, really sweet. The sultanas, well, they will be my favourite once they start to ripen up a little bit more. Lovely little berries, not at their sweetest. I give them about a 60-70% pass mark. Nice large pieces. Avocados, small to medium pieces. Peaches, yellow, largish pieces, and magnificent. We've also got white peaches. Rock melons, small pieces. Smell pretty good. Plums are definitely the dominant fruit at the present time. Now look, I'm sure you're all quite familiar with my preferences. The sugar plums are really now eating fantastically. They've sweetened up brilliantly. The blood plums are still great. If you like your amber jewels and your Tegan blues are a great price. But they're more of that large fleshy style of plum, which is what many people like. Definitely fairly positively thinking maybe it's the last week of Kensington Pride mangoes. It's pretty well all over. There may be a late little burst in the next week or two, but really it's pretty well all over. They're still eating fantastically. Nice Queensland fruit. So if you haven't quite had your fill, do it. The white nectarines are an absolute delight. Panama passion fruit, smaller in size this week. They're actually a really good price. At 5 for $6.99. Here's one I bit into earlier. Look at it. Chockers! Oi! The other thing that's really noteworthy at the present are the watermelons from Pinehaven Organics. Magnificently sweet. Now I know we promised you that we'd get out to them last week, but every time we went to go, it started thumping down with rain, and so we just didn't get there, but hopefully we'll get there this week. While we're on the Pinehaven theme, the corn again is magnificently sweet this week. Truly, get into it. Other vegetables I'd like to show you. Yellow zucchini, medium to large pieces. A little bit richer in beta-carotene, hence the colour. Your normal green zucchinis are about that size this week. We've got a lot of beautiful shiny eggplant that are around about that size, and a few of the larger creatures. Capsicums, our reds are huge. As you're probably already aware, the kilo price tends to be fairly high in these because they're lucky to make it through to adulthood. So it's a war of attrition. And there's your green. These will price out quite high. Broccoli heads, nice firm and tight, nice and fresh. In terms of the greens for salads and things, the picks this week are again the Lady Organics. We've got that in the mesclun mix, the rocket, the baby spinach, but we've also got head lettuce, cos and iceberg. Down into our bulbs, Australian going garlic, less attractive, just as tasty, a bit cheaper. Premium grade up here. That's actually grown at Mudgee. Got the giant Russian garlic there from up at Bellingen. All Australian grown, really good quality. And then through into other, your salad onions, smaller pieces, your brown onions, medium-sized pieces, and the white onions are also on the smaller side. What do you like most about OrganicFeast, Anne?
I like the colours, the taste, goodness, and the people.
Oh, that's gold. Before we go, a couple of quick things. Spiral tomatoes, diced and whole, they're on special. Buy your 6 cans for $9. And as I mentioned before, mangoes, fresh mangoes are about to finish, but don't worry, have a smell. This is Papa Wan's Australian dried mango, all organic, and it is amazing. I really wish you could smell it, and it tastes great. It's the best dried mango on the market. It's been hard to get for a little while because the last couple of years the mango harvests have been a bit up and down. I'm not sure how long we'll have it for, but we've managed to get some. If you wanted to try something particularly nice, there it is. I'd like to say that unfortunately is your lot for the week, but I think that's patented. So we'll see you next week.